What's up, y'all? Welcome inside the War Room alongside Chris Schroyer. I'm Shrikar Agendran. Y'all know the drill. UFC 325 just concluded. We don't have Sam in here. I know y'all saw him on predictions, but we don't have him for the recap. We asked, but he's busy. He's a busy dude. You know, he's out doing his work. But we wanted to give y'all this recap. I think we're gonna always aim for Sunday night recaps around this time because that's just kind of what works with all of our schedules. But yeah, Chris, Volk gets it done again. We look at BSD finishing Dan Hooker, Mauricio Ruffy obviously finishing Rafael Fiziev. I didn't think that would happen, but we have it happen. What do you think of the card, man?
I thought it was good. There were really only two fights that were worse than terrible. And I'm assuming if you watch the card, you would know exactly which fights those were.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was solid. Main card was fun. Some high level fights, especially the featured bout and the co-main and main event were very good fights. Quillen Sawkilled showed us that he is not a man you want to mess with. He is a force to be reckoned with in the UFC, and he's only going to get better and better, improve more and more right in front of our eyes. And yeah, you know, the road to the UFC fights were all solid. You had a very nice comeback win from Keiichiro Nakamura. I did not get to watch it because I was driving home, and I didn't want to do anything illegal and watch on my phone while I was on the highway. Wasn't even on the back roads. I was on the
get caught locking, man.
Yeah, that would have been bad. So, but yeah, I mean, regardless, still just a good. I would say it was a very good card. And props to Australia for doing this at like 5. What was it? I think they started at 9 in the morning.
It's always in the morning for Australia.
Yeah, it used to be in the afternoon, so we would conform with their time. And I don't know what happened, but now they've been conforming to our time. I remember one of the cards started at like 6 in the morning, in local time. But yeah, I mean, definitely a good card. Old man Volk gets it done. We'll talk about that, break it all down, and say what's next. But I'm put it out there right now. Volk is the featherweight GOAT. I don't think there's a question.
Well, that wasn't the boldest take, Chris.
No, it's not. It's not. But I just wanted to say it so it was heard, and we all know where we stand.
Hey, if you stick around for the stream, I'll give you a hotter take. So we'll move forward. We'll start with our first fight of the night. Sulong Rongbo and Lawrence Louis. Obviously, I took Sulong Rongbo.
We all took Sulong Rongbo.
We all took
Sam changed his pick from Louis to Sulong Rongbo, and it did not go well. But I don't think many of us saw this coming.
Yeah, really strong performance from Lawrence Louis. I thought he was the clear winner, especially with rounds 2 and 3 going his way. There were things to like from Sulong Rongbo, but the game just felt too one-dimensional for the UFC level. Louis, on the other hand, used his pressure perfectly, and his cage cutting was on point all fight. Not sure he's a future ranked guy, but I would be surprised if he doesn't stick around for a couple contracts. I think he definitely belongs in the UFC. And again, really, really good performance.
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak too much on it. I did look at the stats. I should have went back and watched the fight, but sorry, I was being a little lazy. But I did see that I also like to scroll Twitter after fights just to see, you know, the MMA community's thoughts on it. I saw someone say, I know we talked about the age difference in this fight, Sulong Rongbo being 20, Louis being 29, and someone said Sulong Rongbo really kind of just fought his age. Just even though he had more experience in terms of how many fights he has on his record, he fought inexperienced in kind of just the age department, which I thought was interesting. I don't know if you could attest to that, Trikar, but
I think it's a valid argument. If I'm Sulong Rongbo, next road to UFC season, I'd probably just come back because I think he can still do damage. It's a learning experience for him at the end of the day.
100%. He has the whole world ahead of him.
And his striking looked good, man. His striking definitely looked good in the fight. Lawrence Louis just kind of had his way with the wrestling, you know. Again, I'd like to see Sulong Rongbo come back for the next road to UFC season. And I think they'll match up Lawrence Louis against, you know, probably a vet Probably a vet is what I would think. Someone kind of deep in the unranked pool in bantamweight. But again, Lawrence Louis gets it done. Good performance. We'll move on. This is the one that had me and Chris a little upset because I bet Sebastian Chalet money line, and I know you had this fight to go the distance.
Yeah.
Ichiro Nakamura pulls it out the fire against Sebastian Chalet, gets the knockout win. That kid is going to be fun, man. Nakamura is going to be a lot of fun. It's definitely a tough result for Chalet because he actually had some really sharp moments early in this fight. You look at those first exchanges, it was excellent. And he definitely had his chances, but huge credit to Nakamura. He got edged out early. He made the adjustments. He started drowning Chalet. He really drew Chalet into the counters. And once he found that rhythm, it just kind of felt inevitable from there. It was just a matter of time until the knockout came. So I do think it was really good work from Nakamura setting up the finish. While it may not have looked like it because Chalet took the first 2 rounds and obviously, as I mentioned, had the better of those early exchanges. The way Nakamura was kind of forcing that lead hand in, really good work. So very excited to see what Kichiro Nakamura can do in the UFC. Great win. Obviously ruined my parlay, but it is what it is. That's what you get for betting on route to UFC, I guess. So
yeah, we decided to bet on probably the most volatile fights that we could ever bet on, regional MMA. But yeah, I mean, Chalet, I still think that there's promise for him. Like he fought a great fight up until, the 14-minute mark of the bout. But like you said, yeah, Nakamura, impeccable timing on the head dip that Chalet was giving him. He was dipping his head a good amount in that round that I saw because I watched some of it on Twitter, and he just shot in with the knee, and it caught him perfectly. Yeah, he's a knockout machine. I mean, you look at his record, and this guy just knocks pretty much everyone out. And hey, I mean, I think it's impressive to see that he wasn't deterred from losing the first 2 rounds, and he really went in there and kind of just pulled it out. So I think that's a good notch to have on your belt if you're coming into the UFC. And a great way to win a contract. That's exactly what Dana White is looking for. I know it's not like Contender Series where if you win a kind of a crappy decision, you might not even get a contract. There's a guaranteed contract for these fights, but very impressive way to earn your contract from Nakamura.
Chris, did you see what Dana White said about Oscar De La Hoya?
I did not. I know he doesn't like Oscar De La Hoya.
Dana said he's running out of money. Get the panties and fishnets back on. Jump on OnlyFans and pay that $23 million on effing rent you owe.
Ooh.
Courtesy of Nina Drama.
Oh my God. the best journalist there is.
Yeah, I guess it's the one that Dana seems to like. I wonder why. Songwook Kim versus Domar Fan. I actually switched to Frogman, Songwook Kim, in this fight. Not a good pick flip,
Buddha, bro.
Yeah, I should have stuck with Street Buddha. Not a good pick flip on my end, but hey, again, road to UFC. It's volatile. What you gonna do? I know you. You watched this fight, right?
I caught like the tail end of it, so I'm not going to sit here and lie.
So you saw that last round. I think this is where this happened.
Yeah.
Did you see Domar Fan hitting the revenge cup check? So he got groin kicked.
Yeah, and then he groin kicked. That looked very intentional.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't love that, but at the very least, Street Buddha is fun. He is a fun fighter. You can tell he's got that Australia, New Zealand striking background. You could see the question mark kicks, just some of the weird looks he throws. I think he's got a long way to go before he's anywhere near the rankings, but the foundation is there. I think if he commits to leveling up in the gym and rounds out his game, there is something to work with here. I definitely think there's some potential. But again, man, don't play dirty. Don't play dirty. That's how you get in the War Room's bad side. So
yeah, and the UFC too. What's up,
hey, what's up, Tyler? How we doing, man?
I would have bet any amount of money that I would see your name in this stream at 11 o'clock at night.
It's like a minus 1,000. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
that's free cheese. But yeah, I feel like Domar Fan and the bare bones are definitely there for him to be a solid fighter, and I want to see what he could do.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, like you said, I did see that I did see the city kickboxing background and his kickboxing prowess. I know that's one of the reasons that I took him is that, and he did show off the grappling as well. He was shooting takedowns. I think that the kickboxing that he presents allows for him to do that, because it's almost like you're not really expecting him to shoot a takedown, even though there's tape of him shooting takedowns. You're kind of not expecting it. Still, just the way he fights. And yeah, in the last round, which is kind of what I saw, I did see the unpredictability factor that he brings, and I think that'll definitely help him. And good win, another Australian fighter in the UFC, and he got it done at home. So can't not like that.
100%. But that concluded the road to UFC part of UFC 325. Let's get into some UFC action now.
Robbery.
Con Offley takes the majority decision over Ija. Obviously, Sam had the lone wolf pick on Con Offley, and he got rewarded. And I say rewarded with a certain emphasis behind it because, Chris, I really don't love those scorecards, and I'll let you get into it because I know you're a little bit more animated about it. But
yeah,
what do you think of the fight? I do think it should have swung Ija's way. I don't know. What do you think?
I just don't understand. I mean, one of the refs did score the second round a 10-8 for Ija. And it was 29-28, 28-28, 29-28, majority for Offley. I gave Offley the first round. I thought that he definitely did a good job of just kind of sticking in there, making it a little dirty, pushing him up against the fence. Ija 1000% won the second round. I don't think that there's a single question in that. But in the third round,
arguably a 10-8 in the second round.
Yeah, I would have given it a 10-8 personally, and one of the judges did, the one who had it as a draw. And then in the third round, I mean, it was close. It wasn't a pull away round, but just straight off the eye test, and I know the judges don't get statistics. I mean, I think Ija landed more. He landed the better. It landed more in exchanges that, in my opinion, should determine the fight. I get it. Con Offley he was throwing wild. He was throwing big shots, and sometimes you look at that as aggression, and that could bode well for you in the scoring department. But I just don't really see how Ija didn't win this fight. I mean, he dropped the first round, won the second round convincingly, and I wouldn't say he coasted. He was still fighting. Tyler, I'm not sure if he dropped him in the third round. I don't know if it counted, because sometimes
he got dropped in the second.
He got dropped in the second. Which that should have been a 10-8. But yeah, I don't know. I just did not see him losing the third round. And he was a pretty wide favorite on betting platforms. So I know you can't really look at that and say, oh, well, this is my reasoning. But I mean, for you, Shrikar, on the eye test, do you think he won the third round? I personally did.
I'll say it like this. It felt like Ija's fight pretty clearly. He was battering Offley from pillar to post at times. I think he did more than enough in the third. I think he clearly got the third, in my opinion. Honestly, I think Ija could have taken the first on damage too, if I'm being completely honest. I got a lot of respect for Offley and how tough he is. A lot of guys would have folded in that second round, and he did the opposite. He came back, he survived, and obviously when you do things like that, things like this could happen. But I will say toughness alone doesn't win fights. I cannot get behind him getting the nod there. I just can't. I think this is a clear-cut robbery, and I think I can make a better argument for Ija winning all three rounds of this fight than what the scorecards actually were. Simple as that. I think the judges completely screwed this one up. But shout out to Con Offley. Got it done again. Tough dude, durable dude.
Let me go on Real, because they actually offer round by round stats, which I like about the Real app. It's still a beta.
It's kind of like Verdict in that way, right?
Yeah, so Verdict doesn't offer stats. It's just a scoring platform. But okay, yeah. So third round stats for Ija compared to Offley. 18 strikes landed for Ija, 15 for Offley. Not a wide margin. Offley landed by a slightly higher percentage. Yijia had 2 takedowns.
Is this the first round or the third round?
No, this is the third round.
Okay.
Yijia had 2 takedowns and 34 seconds of control time. Offley was 0 for 3 on takedowns with 37 seconds of control time.
Yeah, seems like a Yijia round to me.
Yep.
I don't know.
So
Even off
I
eye
don't
test,
know.
you don't even need the stats to back it up. I just feel
Yeah.
like even off eye test, you could tell Yijia won that round. So I don't know. I don't know what the judges in Australia were thinking for this one, but
not sure.
Not Offley gets the nod. We move on to the prelims. This one did not need to go to the judges. Jonathan McAuliffe puts Oban Elliott to sleep with the submission. And my goodness, what a comeback from Jonathan McAuliffe. I still feel like we need answers about what was going on before the finish, because for a while there, McAuliffe did not look like the same guy we saw against Kevin Jose. I think the striking was definitely wild.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the decision-making felt very off. Like, I don't think McAuliffe was fighting the smartest fight that he could. It honestly looked like something wasn't right. But once he got to that position, absolutely none of that mattered. Locked in the choke, hid the hand, waited Elliott out. Lights out. Sometimes that's all it takes. As soon as Oban was in that position, I was like, he's not getting out of this. There's 2 minutes left in the round. It just wasn't going to happen. But yeah, Jonathan McAuliffe, hell of a comeback for Oban Elliott. I wouldn't necessarily say back to the drawing board, because a lot of the things we saw in the Suk Young Ko fight kind of just made its way over into this one. He has lots to prove in the striking. Tyler, you're talking about McAuliffe or Oban? Because I do think McAuliffe has some to prove in the striking, because if he can't get that takedown and stays on the feet, then we don't know what's going to happen. Oban was kind of tagging him.
I'm assuming he's talking about McAuliffe, because Oban did look good in the striking department. He looked crisp. He looked powerful. Yeah, that's what I thought, Tyler, too. I mean, I don't know what got to him that he wanted to fight so wild, like a street fight, and just like he was swinging for the fences so hard that he was putting himself out of position and almost falling over on some of these, overhands and hooks. And I think Oban Elliott did a good job of navigating it and picking his shots, and even had McAuliffe bleeding a little bit. McAuliffe did drop him. He did flash drop him. I don't think it counted as a knockdown on the stat sheet, but it definitely visually looked like a knockdown. So that could have been, something to look at for scoring, but obviously it didn't go to the scorecards. Yeah, I agree. He forgot what a 1-2 was. He just knew what a 1 was. And it wasn't even a jab. It was just a 1 was any punch that would try and kill Oban Elliott. But yeah, I think that Oban, he didn't execute really how he needed to. Trying to get him up against the fence. McAuliffe is the bigger guy, and he's the better grappler. So you kind of have to be weary in that, because it reversals along the cage could leave you susceptible to what exactly happened, getting taken down, reversals on the floor. And the back take from McAuliffe was very nice. It was a beautiful transition, and he has very long limbs compared to Elliott. So it was only going to be a matter of time before he was able to cinch up a submission. I actually thought that Elliott was going to get out of it, just because I don't know if it was the way his neck looked or his chin. It looked like his chin was about to pop out. And then McAuliffe readjusted, and once I realized he wasn't going to get out of it, I'm like, all right, I don't know how long this is going to last. Like you said, Shrikar, I mean, good job by McAuliffe by sticking with it and not, using all of his strength up on the initial choke. It was kind of just I'm going to sit here and gradually apply more and more pressure and have him get tired trying to get out of it. Because that's also a big thing. It's like when you're getting choked and your circulation and air is getting cut off to your brain, how much energy do you really have to keep moving and fighting it? Unless you're Merab against who was it? Was it Moraes? No, it was Ricky Simone. Ricky Simone.
Yeah, Simone.
But Merab definitely went out in that, so I can't even really use that as an excuse. But yeah, I just think it was a good job by Mikhailov sticking with it, but there are some improvements 100% that need to be made in the striking department.
Yeah, almost. I mean, Oban Elliott is still young. So, is he? Is he still young? I think he is.
No, I don't think so.
Oban Elliott, age. He's 28. He's still got some time. He hasn't hit his physical prime yet. So we'll see if he can make the adjustments. But good win for Jonathan Mikhailov. Jacob Malkoun somehow did not win this fight by finish. This went all 3 rounds.
Dude,
But he gets it done against Torres Finney.
What a terrible fight. Torres Finney did exactly what I thought he could have done.
Yeah, with Jacob Malkoun, I don't know, man. I'll say this. It wouldn't be a Malkoun fight if there was a finish. Right? Like, yeah. He just doesn't know how to finish fights. It is what it is. But besides this one going the distance, I will say this was Jacob Malkoun's best fight we've seen from him in the UFC.
Oh, 100%.
Right? Tuned Finney up on the feet. Definitely had the clear advantage in the boxing. And the thing with Torres Finney, man, is like he doesn't realize or have a grasp on how punching works. Like, he was just getting pieced. Now, obviously, Finney did get hurt in this fight, and we hate to see Finney injured. I love to see his particular build just being impossible to submit, though. Like that's so
John annexed it too. Finney doesn't really have a neck to grab onto.
Malkoun and Tuivasa need to get together and train finishes after this event. Yeah, we'll get to Tuivasa in a second, but the same thing applies. How in the world do you not finish that fight? But I'm glad to see Malkoun get out of there with the win. Again, definitely his best performance in the UFC, finish aside. But yeah, and Torres Finney probably gets one more crack, maybe against like a GM3 potentially.
Oh my God, that would be such a bad fight.
That'd be the ultimate meme fight. You know what? Yeah, let's do Torres Finney and GM3.
I like that. Good match.
Let's see who's more cooked at their points in the career.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that Malkoun did have a boxing background prior to this fight. And this was kind of like target practice, honestly. But I was impressed with the hands. Very good combos, wasn't going for straight, I'm going to kill you power, straight knockout power. He was more of just, all right, I'm going to really work this, and hopefully the damage accumulates over time. Just darting in and out, picking his shots. I didn't love him engaging in the grappling in inopportune moments. I think that this fight 100% could have been finished. Just a few poor decisions from Malkoun, but still got the win, a very convincing win. And, he displayed that he does have a very solid striking game that we've really never seen from him before, not on this level at least. Yeah, I mean, Torres Finney, one thing I was thinking of is I have a feeling he came into this fight injured. I don't want to make speculations, but for him to not shoot a single takedown, very weird. Very weird. He shot one takedown, I think, the entire fight. 0 for 1 on takedowns right on the screen. So I'm going to say he came in injured, like that knee was injured, because when he stepped backwards and he did that little hop, like that crow hop, and you could tell that he was hurt. I don't know. I mean, it coming in hurt, that would make sense for him to not be able to really grapple very well or even feel comfortable shooting. Cause I mean, it's all legs. You're not going to get an arm takedown on a guy of Jacob Malkoun's size, 185, probably weighing around 200 during the fight. But yeah, I mean, Finney in the third round, he did come on. He was kind of throwing caution to the wind. And I think he would have had a much better chance to do it if he was doing that every round. I still think Malkoun would have navigated those and been able to, counter properly. But I think it would have benefited Finney a lot more if he kind of just was like, all right, I'm going to go in here. If I get knocked out, I get knocked out. But he did catch Malkoun a few times. He staggered him, and then, like those wild overhands, they're not going to look the best and the cleanest in terms of striking, but they hurt. They definitely hurt. So yeah, I just think that Torres Finney, He's on probably the thinnest of leashes right now, and that leash might snap before he even gets his next fight. So I don't know. Yeah, I agree with Tyler. I agree with you, Tyler. Dana already hates him, so putting up that performance, is
he'll get one more. He's not getting cut immediately. He just got to win. So, but they physically won't do it.
We're talking about people who need improvement in striking. Torres Finney needs a lot of improvement in the striking department. I think he just needs to be more comfortable in exchanges. He just looks like he doesn't want to get hit. He's scared of being knocked out. And as a UFC fighter, I feel like you really can't be scared of getting knocked out because you're never going to win.
Yeah, well, this dude wasn't scared of getting knocked out.
Oh my God, bro. Rouston, dog.
It's always kind of funny when Cody Brundage looks competent for about 30 seconds of the fight. And then he just remembers he's Cody Brundage and then just does dumb shit for the rest of the fight. Wait,
I can't fight like this.
I mean, once things got difficult, it went exactly where these fights usually go. Credit to Rouston, though. He stayed composed. He did a really good job cutting off the cage, even while he was fighting off his back foot early in the fight. Solid footwork and a clean addition to the win streak for sure. I think this was a very, very clean win from Cam Rouston. Fun fact, Torres landed 2.5 more total strikes than his last fight. That goes to show you how bad is Robert Valentin.
Dude, oh my God.
I mean, he had no answer for the wrestling, but we'll see if those injury concerns that Chris brought up are actually true. We know he got injured during the fight, but maybe it was a pre-existing thing. Lucky this wasn't a no contest.
Is that satire from what happened with the?
It could be.
Fight?
I was thinking, what is he referring to? And I was like, it's definitely the topology rainbow that Cody Brundage has right now. But yeah, man, Rouston gets it done, and he gets it done by finish. Pretty much exactly what we thought would happen in this fight happened. Not much to report here. Good win for Cam Rouston.
Yeah, definitely good win for Cam Rouston. Good to see him not being scared of, a striker who has power. Not the best striker, but wasn't scared to stand in front of him and eat some of those shots, and he did. Brundage tagged him a few times that I was a little skeptical of. I'm like, all right, if Rouston is in trouble and fights this at range, Brundage can make it dirty. We talked about him not having the best track record, but he also fights decently high level opponents sometimes. I think he has a lot of talent and skill, but like you said, Shrikar, I mean, he has the talent and skill for 30 seconds to a minute of every single fight, and then realizes he's like, oh wait, I'm Cody Brundage. I can't do this. He's like, I need to fight like an absolute moron. Yeah, I mean, Rouston, impressive. I was talking to my friends about this when we were all watching the fight, because we just watched the Torres Finney fight. They're not super into UFC, but they follow it. But the people I was telling to bet, I was like, all right, bet Cam Rouston by knockout. He's gonna knock him out. And then when Brundage was tagging him, they're like, oh my God, why didn't you tell me to bet Brundage by knockout? And I'm like, you want to hear something really funny? Cam Rouston actually lost to Torres Finney. Yeah. They were like, why did you tell me to bet on him? There's no way. And then Rouston won, and they're like, all right, I'm sorry for doubting you. But
MMA math, it never fails, doesn't it?
Never fails. But yeah, good win from Rouston. I think he has a pretty bright future. He's a solid grappler. He can fight at range. We've seen that from him in these past few fights, and dude, he packs a punch. He really does. So yeah, good win for him. That was a fun fight.
Guys, we wish we had Sam here for this featured prelim. Billy Helicana submits Junior Tafa in the second round.
Looked so good in the first round.
All right. Billy Helicana gets another one. And honestly, it might be time for Junior Tafa to start packing those bags, buddy. Not exactly what you want as a featured prelim on a numbered card, but for what it was, I'd say it delivered.
Crap.
Yeah, it delivered. Tafa landed big early in the fight. That first round knockdown, that was a gorgeous knockdown, by the way. He timed that perfectly. But once that moment passed, I think we began to see the differences between both these guys. And it was a clear difference. The pressure from Billy Elicana, the cardio, the toughness just took over the fight. He just kept coming.
John Dong?
Hey, what's up, John Dong? How's it going, man? I told my friend to bet Derek Lewis by knockout against Waldo. He won't listen to me anymore.
Oh, dude, that's happened to me so many times. It's okay. They'll always come back. Just show them one really good day you have and be like, yo, I'm back. They'll come back. Don't worry.
Dude, honestly, my strat is just like keeping the bets to myself now. Like if I leak the script, then I can't put the energy out. I have to keep it to myself sometimes. So
yeah,
that's why I always caution against telling your friends to bet something.
My friends like to mess with me and then fade what I take, and then they sometimes they win because obviously you can't be perfect all the time. But when they lose, they're like, I'm like, dude, why didn't you listen to me? They're like, oh, screw you. I don't want to talk about it, bro. You don't know anything.
Such a lose-lose.
Oh yeah,
it's so useless. I'm good, John. Hey, thank you for asking, man. I had a good day at work. Very hectic day at work, but a good day. And yeah, we're just chilling on stream.
Chilling like a villain.
But yeah, man, I think Elicana, he just kept coming, weathered the storm, turned it into his kind of fight. The man's got a winning UFC record now. And it matters. It definitely matters. So good win for Billy Elicana. Maybe put him up against like honestly, I was thinking put him up against Bukauskas. We saw how Modestas fought last week, got finished by Nikita Krylov in the final moments of the fight. I think this is the perfect opportunity for a potential bounce back, or if Elicana can get another feather in his cap, there you go. Modestas Bukauskas versus Billy Elicana. I think.
No, do you think that? I feel like that might be a little too high.
I mean, let's look at what Elicana's been on a low-key run. His only loss in the UFC has been to Bogdan Guskov by submission, and that was a short notice fight at UFC 311. He beat Ibo Aslan by unanimous decision, obviously boring fight. He submitted Kevin Christian, submitted Junior Tafa. I think a Bukauskas step up after Bukauskas lost to Krylov and got finished. He's still entrenched in the unranked pool.
Okay.
I think it makes sense for both of them. It's kind of a crossroads fight at this point.
I was thinking someone like maybe Zhang Minyang.
Wow, I think that's honestly higher than where I have Modestas.
Ooh, okay. All right. So maybe I'm shooting for the stars a little bit.
Because I feel like Zhang Minyang is out of the rankings, right? Is he?
Yeah, he is. After his loss to Johnny Walker.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Kute Laba. Tyler wants Kute Laba. That could be a good fight.
I could like that. Get behind that.
I think that's something that Billy would like too, when you consider the type of fighter that Jan Kute Laba is. Mm-hmm. That could be a good one for sure. I actually like that shout, but I don't know. Modestas and Billy would be a crazy good fight.
That would be a good fight. Yeah, no, I think that this was Elicana's most impressive fight in the UFC, and I don't think it's particularly close. I mean, it's funny that we're saying that it's coming against Junior Tafa, but Tafa did look good in the first round. He really was showcasing his kickboxing skills, and everyone kind of gets behind the fact that he's not a good fighter and he's terrible on the ground, but he is a good kickboxer. He is definitely better than his brother. He's definitely better than Justin, which might not be very hard to do. Not even might not be. It's not very hard to do. But I mean, I was impressed with Tafa in the first round. He really came out there. He tried to really push the pace, and he succeeded. He was tagging Billy Elicana a few times. He really had him on the ropes, and Elicana kind of just stood there. He was processing the information that he was being given, and he took it into the second round. He landed some big strikes of his own, really got Tafa in some danger, and then once it hit the floor, I knew it was over. I'm like, Tafa's not getting out of this, and Billy's a pretty good grappler, so I'm impressed that we saw him face some adversity and be able to navigate through that and win by submission. So yeah, I think that's a good fight, and I think his next fight should be of decently high stature. So yeah, I mean, I like both the options we're giving, even Tyler's option of Kudalaba. I think that's pretty solid. But I mean, light heavyweight, it's not in exactly the best territory, but maybe soon in a fight or two we could see Billy Elikana sneak into the rankings in the bottom half.
Yeah, I guess that goes to show you the state of light heavyweight and how many contenders we're really getting that are fresh. If Billy Elikana is being pushed as the next guy, we're fucked. Let's go to the main card. Let's go to the main card. Now this guy, I like this guy for sure.
Now he is the guy who knocks and finishes people.
I swear they need to just go to bare knuckle. Yeah, I think that's going to be the next stop because Junior's getting cut. Justin is already cut. I
think the Taffa brothers and bare knuckle would be pretty exciting.
That would be gnarly. I'd like that. But if you guys are with us, we have 5 people in chat right now. Main card. Hey, like up the stream, man. Like up the stream.
Sir.
Hop in our chat. Ask us questions about the card. Talk to us. Obviously, we're having a nice little chat in here. A nice little chill stream for y'all on the late night. So we hope y'all are enjoying. We'll still keep it moving, though. Quillen Salkeld finishes Jamie Malarkey in the first round by submission. And, of course, ya boy had Salkeld by knockout in the first round.
Oh. Quillen.
Another night, another win for Quillen Salkeld. I will say, though, this one actually made him look a little more human, which isn't a bad thing. I do think Malarkey gave him some problems early in this fight, especially in those body lock situations. But Salkeld adjusted beautifully. Whenever he wanted position, he just took it. The throw was clean. The control was there. Once again, he found the finish. And the hype train is still rolling. This guy is the real deal. We've been saying it on this podcast. And he proves it once again.
Yeah, no, the hype train is rolling. I was doing that. I wasn't telling you to rap. I was just being like, it's rolling, it's rolling.
Yeah. I'm so used to it, man. I'm a journalist. I see the rap sign. I'm like, all right, cut it.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Yeah, you bring up good points. I do think that Malarkey made him look a little more human. And, people kind of just look at Jamie Malarkey's record and they're like, all right, this guy's really not that good. He's a solid fighter. It's just his chin is deteriorated far beyond his means to actually fight the fight that he wants to fight. But he did a good job of, trying to stay out of the knockout trouble and realizing that if this gets, into a striking match, he's at a severe disadvantage. Not because of his striking skills, but because of Quillen's power versus his deteriorating chin. But yeah, I like that we saw a little something different from Quillen Salkeld. We saw him win by submission, and he's just kind of been running through people, knocking them out, and dealing with adversity, kind of like what I just said about Billy Elikana. We never really seen him deal with, adversity in terms of being at a disadvantage in specific moments. Obviously, he was at the advantage of this entire fight. Quillen was, but Malarkey, he's been around the block multiple times. He knows how to fight. He has solid fight IQ. It's just, like I said, the deteriorating chin's really not gonna hold up much longer. But yeah, good for Quillen. All right, Tyler says Salkeld versus Ziam or Moicano. Ooh,
I don't want to see Quillen and Ziam just yet, man.
I'm not gonna lie. I think Ziam would take that fight.
I don't even know if it's a matter of who would win. These are arguably 2 of the top 3 prospects in lightweight right now. I just don't think you can match them up against each other yet. Moicano would be interesting. I think that's one that's pretty valid. I think I could see that. And he is going to get a ranked opponent. All right. He's done fighting unranked. I said it after the Nasrat knockout that he should already be fighting a guy like Fiziev, but obviously, he was scheduled to fight Rongju, and then it turned into Malarkey. Give me Quillen Salkeld versus Beneil Dariush. Let's just retire Benny.
Benny, bro. Don't feed him to the wolves.
Let's get it over with. Let's make it happen.
You know what's crazy? I think everything went downhill for Benny when he said I'd fight anywhere, anytime.
We literally knew it. That dude, lightweight was full of killers at the time. He was gonna get cooked. Salkeld is a finisher. The UFC clearly wants to keep that momentum rolling, and I think this matchup would do exactly that. High stakes, high danger, especially for Benny. My early pick would obviously be Salkeld round 1 knockout. But that's exactly what the UFC wants to do. They want to put this guy on a pedestal. They want to keep showing that, Salkeld is the best prospect out of Australia, and he's one of the best prospects in this division in general. And
I think in the entire UFC.
Top 3?
I think he's one of the best prospects in the entire UFC right now.
I can get behind it. That's crazy because I feel like my top 3 UFC prospects are all in lightweight.
I don't know if we can call Ruffy a prospect anymore after last night.
Yeah, sure.
I feel like I think that was the fight that got him over the hump.
I can agree with you. But yeah, well, let's do it. Quillen versus Benny. Let's send Beneil Dariush to retirement. And I don't know. He's going to get cooked. That's all it is to it. But it's definitely a matchup that the UFC would be in favor of making. Chris, any final words before we move to a slop heavyweight matchup?
No, I think you said it perfectly. I think that Quillen has he's putting himself on the map. If he didn't already, I mean, the Nasrat knockout put himself on the map, but now, I mean, he's getting main card opportunities. I mean, maybe being in Australia would help his case with that, but I could definitely see him on another main numbered card. So
dude, he needs to grow some eyebrow. Like what is going on here?
I don't know. I think he has blonde eyebrows.
Ugh.
Does kind of look it looks like Voldemort a little bit.
Yeah. Shout out to homie. Tai
You had it.
Tai Tuivasa. All right. This is exactly what it looked like on paper. A big, sloppy, kind of ridiculous heavyweight fight. And honestly, it was fun. It was fun. Credit to Tai for surviving on the ground.
Oh my God.
That could have gone way worse.
Getting this fight to go the distance was probably one of the scariest things ever.
That was probably the most sweaty bet you could have had. Dude, I was sweating Taliesin Teixeira not losing in that third round for the Lone Wolf. I didn't want to put anything on this fight.
I bet on Tai. I was a little upset, but it's okay. I only put $5 on him.
But we will address the elephant in the room. Horrible decision making by Tai Tuivasa to clinch with a guy he absolutely could have finished on the feet. On the flip side, respect to Taliesin for going the full 15. That said, he looked pretty rough doing it. Not pretty, not technical. This was literally just heavyweights being heavyweights. Oh, well.
He's on Jailton Almeida level for me right now. Taliesin Teixeira. Obviously a worse version of Jailton, but I don't know. I was not impressed with
I think Jailton's performance was worse. They were both
bad. All right. The one thing I'll give him over Jailton, at least he was trying to strike on the ground.
No, at least he was trying to finish Tai Tuivasa. Jailton had he wasn't even trying to finish the fight.
I agree. Tai in the third round. The fact that he even had the cardio to at least throw some of those punches is kind of crazy. Props to him. But yeah, I mean, I know when he clinched, everyone was screaming at their TV, dude, just break the clinch, just hit him. But when I saw that, I personally thought that he needed the breather just as much as Taliesin Teixeira did. Very strenuous. I think it would have been different if he wasn't spending a lot of the time, belly down, flattened out by Teixeira, trying to get up, exerting a lot of energy in that department. But for a guy that was 330 pounds probably a couple weeks ago, a month ago, came in and did that. I think that's somewhat impressive. I think he needs some props for that. Going 15 minutes in MMA, and we really rarely see him go 15 minutes, probably ever. I don't know if he's ever gone the distance in his UFC career. Let me double check that right now.
And let me tell you, it took every ounce of his physical being to do it.
Oh yeah. I think the funniest thing,
took everything in him. After 10 minutes, he was cooked.
Let's see.
Heavyweights should be banned from main cards until they can run 5 miles. Nah, facts.
All right, he's been the distance
cardio, man.
He's been the distance twice after that. Twice before that. So out of 17 UFC fights. So not very common.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up a picture right now. After the fight, when they are both sitting up against the fence, crisscrossed applesauce, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen. I was like, dude, honestly, if I was the judges, I just make this a draw. They both can't get up. They're both not getting up. And then it was like a mutual, like, all right, bro, we both need breathers. Both of their corners are like nursing them back to health. It's like, if there was one fight where you need like a chug jug after, it was definitely this.
Yo, hey, what's good, bro? What's good? How we doing? It's happening in the stream. What's up, man? We are back. Yeah, there are some fights that really question why you watch the sport.
Oh yeah, 100%. Let me.
There are also fights where the clock ticks down a lot slower than you'd like it to. This was also another one of those fights. I was sweating bullets in that third round.
Oh my god!
I was like, if Tai Tuivasa pulls this off and I lose another lone wolf, I will actually crash out before we even get to the top 3 fights. But hey, man, Allison Teixeira, you went the distance. Good job, buddy. We'll see you next fight. And we'll get into the matchmaking. Speaking of which, I almost forgot. Sometimes on a Sunday night, all you need is some war room. I'm saying, man, Sunday night streams, they just go crazy. Hey, let's talk about how I swept in the main card. Yeah, you're him, bro. You're him. Good calls. He went.
You did.
He went 5 for 5. He I can approve. Ro texted me before the main card. He texted me all his picks. He did go 5 for 5.
Good job, bro. That's big props. Here, wait.
But now,
I'm sharing it right now. This is the funniest picture of all time.
Yo, who put the Snorlax?
I don't know. That was one of the comments.
Yo, Snorlax is crazy. Nah, Tai Tuivasa is definitely moving like a Snorlax.
Tuivasa used the rest. Oh my god, bro. I that's why I love Twitter. Twitter is one of the funniest places on earth.
Oh, dead.
Or X. I guess it's X. I always call it Twitter.
Hey, man. It says here, I mean, they're both ranked heavyweights. Teixeira is still going to hold on to his ranking, but he's still got a lot to prove. Let's do the ultimate heavyweight fight. Let's do Talison Teixeira versus Shamil the Blob Gaziev.
Oh,
Gaziev. I think Gaziev is a much stiffer test than what Teixeira has seen recently. And after what we just watched, Teixeira is going to need to tighten some things up if he wants to come out of this with a win. I think this feels like a real prove-it fight for Talison Teixeira.
I agree.
I'm personally picking Shamil. I don't know about y'all.
Shamil too.
But when I look at Shamil Gaziev, I literally just think of like the peak physical form, man. Let me see if I can pull up a picture, man.
Bring back Barnett for one fight and give him Tai. That would be peak.
Oh, let me see if I can get this up. Stop screen. Present. Share screen. Where's my boy? Bring my boy onto the screen, man. There he is. Just look at this guy, man. Like this is what dreams are made of right here. When people think of the lifelong dream.
What is that headline? He wants UFC. With John. Wait, to fight John Jones.
Nah, he definitely meant he wants to be on the same card. There's no way he has to fight John Jones. Which, hey, if I think that's a fight that John Jones would take, personally.
Absolutely not.
But yeah, man. When I think of the dream of becoming a UFC champion, guys like Shamil Gaziev just stand in the way. You know, these are the guys that you have to beat. I think this is a peak male heavyweight, whether it's in the UFC, whether it's in boxing. no matter what.
Please tell me that's satire.
This is not satire.
Okay.
I mean, completely for real. We only speak the truth on the War Room, guys. All right. Didn't he say John Jones is his future victim?
I'm not gonna lie. I think he did want to fight John Jones.
Every man starts with a dream. All right, let's move on. Rafael Fiziev and Mauricio Ruffy. Ruffy finishes Fiziev in the second round.
I was
guys. If you are a longtime MMA War Room watcher, you will remember after BSD beat Mauricio Ruffy, I came on this podcast. I believe we were on stream for it too. Maybe. I think we were.
I think so.
I defended Ruffy to all hell. All right.
Yep, you did.
I told y'all this guy would be back. I told y'all I picked him in my predictions. I took Ruffy the whole way. He is back. He is back. Mauricio Ruffy is a title threat. I hate seeing Fiziev go out like that, truly. But if it had to be anyone, at least it was someone who met him shot for shot and just flat out won the chess match on the feet. All right, this was not a fluke finish in the slightest. This was clean work, high-level striking, very, very much layered reads from Mauricio Ruffy. That whole first round, he was just making reads, and he was still able to touch up Fiziev at times. Spent a lot of the time on the back foot, but look, the patience paid off. It truly did. I think some fights are definitely chaotic and they're spectacular, like Patty and Gaethje, where you see all the spectacle and you're like, oh, wow, this is insane. There's so much high-flying action going on. And then you see fights like this, and I think of this as more of like an educational fight. If you are really interested in watching a straight clinic on fighting, on seeing how you could improve your striking in any way if you guys train MMA, which I don't, so I don't know why I'm saying this, but this was a really, really, really incredible fight from both guys. All right. If you love striking, this one was an absolute masterclass. New mythical fighter, Aussie Ruffy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. He said he's going to go back to the Fighting Nerds for camp for his next fight and then go back to Australia right before to train with Volk and them. So,
I don't know. That's a little interesting.
It worked because he won, but like I don't know, bouncing between camps and doing all this stuff when the Fighting Nerds are in Brazil and Volk's in Australia, and I don't know how that's going to end up going, but I guess I'll give y'all my immediate matchmaking here. Obviously, Ruffy is clearly trending back toward the top, but I'll keep it a buck. It is still a little early to fast track him straight into the top 5, the elite contenders. I want to see Mauricio Ruffy versus Gamrot. All right. I think Gamrot's absolutely perfect here. I know you guys might be begging for Ruffy to get tested in the grappling again because Fiziev wasn't going to do it. Give him Gamrot. That's your test.
I agree.
He's tough. He is proven. He will absolutely test whether Mauricio's grappling is actually leveled up. And if Ruffy gets through this, especially with a finish, which he could do, then we can start having some serious conversations. Because Fiziev was never going to grapple with Ruffy. I'm sorry to those who might have been let down by that. He just wasn't going to do it.
That was me.
Let's see him actually get tested in the grappling again and just see how much he's improved. But fantastic win for Mauricio Ruffy. The guy is just as good as I thought he was, just as good as we all thought he was. He's still here, man. He's still here. And it goes to show just how good BSD is as well.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I am the people that were let down by not seeing Fiziev grapple. Shrikar was mentioning me. He called me right after the fight, and he could tell I was pissed. I was like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, I think it just goes to show how good Mauricio Ruffy is. I mean, we all knew it. I think the BSD fight is just a little blemish on his record. I don't think it's anything to be too worried about. And I wasn't really worried about it before the fight. I know I picked Fiziev. I just thought it was another route that Fiziev could have taken, and especially with it being exposed in his last fight, that maybe he would want to. But I think it was a good performance from both of them. I don't think we can really take much away from Fiziev after this performance because he did fight a good fight. It was a clinical chess match on the feet, and Ruffy just got the better of him. It really goes to show how good lightweight is, though. I mean, this is the premier division of the UFC. I think it's that in welterweight and lightweight. But in terms of longevity, I would say lightweight takes the cake. Just in terms of longevity, like prestige.
I would agree, but Islam is now in welterweight, and I think that kind of makes up the difference.
Okay, it could. No, but I mean, like in the past, like let's say the past, like this decade of 2020, I think that lightweight.
Okay, yeah. If we're going on this decade, then yeah, lightweight's got it. But I think from now and going into the future, it's going to be welterweight. Which, by the way, we never really talked about the Shavkat news. Shavkat's going to be out for the year. Which is prayers up. Hopefully he has a speedy recovery, and we want to keep him in our good graces, and hopefully he comes back the same. But it is just unfortunate, man. It's another knock on his career. Like the best ability is availability. We always say this. I know Sam preaches it a lot. Heavyweight not mentioned. Yeah. Shamil title run, and then we'll see where we go from there.
Shamil Ghazi versus John Jones, and heavyweight is back.
But man, Shavkat, I just feel bad, man. I really do. This was the same knee that he was recovering from. He re-injured it. What to do at this point? I guess it makes the whole title picture a little bit easier to sort out at welterweight, because now Gary has more of a claim. Now Morales' claim grows. Prates is still kind of in the mix. He probably needs one more, but just an unfortunate situation all around. So I wanted to just touch on that briefly for y'all, because that's some news that we didn't get to cover. But again, man, Mauricio Ruffy, what a finish, man. I thought it would go the distance. People still saying Shavkat deserves a shot. Well, he's going to...
I honestly think Shavkat needs to be removed from the rankings.
Yeah.
I feel like at this point, like he's just being a figurehead.
I take no pride in saying that, by the way.
Yeah, not in a like screw Shavkat way. It's super unfortunate, and I feel like that's the best word to.
Because like if you're taking Kai Kara France out of the rankings,
yeah, like why is Shavkat going to sit up there at number one?
Yeah,
or number
he's
two.
Still the number one contender.
No, number two, because JDM's number one now, but still. You're going to have a guy who's going to be inactive for 2 years in the rankings. I just don't think it's fair to the other fighters. And two, I mean, just because he gets removed from the rankings, when he comes back, hopefully, he'll still get a high profile fight. They're not going to start him from the bottom, obviously. But I feel like it's just, why have his name in there? If first of all, it's only going to go down. It's only going to go down. You might as well just remove it. Sadly.
And more that allows another guy to come up into the rankings too.
Exactly. It just takes away it's just taking away a spot from someone else who deserves it and is active.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I think you could say the same about a guy like Colby Covington, who's been super inactive.
Yeah.
Why is he still in the rankings? I don't know. Hopefully they book him for a fight soon as kind of his last chance per se. But yeah, overall, just an unfortunate situation with Shavkat, and hopefully we get some answers real soon.
I think Ruffy would look good in a cowboy hat. I feel like he needs to start rocking a cowboy hat.
Because he's balding?
No, I just feel like he has like a cowboy face. Is he balding?
Oh, yeah, he's balding. He's balding.
Now.
100% balding.
Oh my God, bald Ruffy? He'd literally just be Luffy.
Yeah, we talk about Aussie Ruffy being the mythical fighter. What if we get a bald Ruffy? On some real killer shit. I think that'd be crazy.
That would be crazy. I'd be so scared of him. I'm already scared of him.
Yeah, no, 100%. Co-main event, BSD finishes Dan Hooker. Benny Saint Denis. I've got zero issues with the stoppage. I know people were kind of complaining about it on Twitter with Herb Dean. I think, honestly, Dan could have taken more shots, to be honest. Like, he was still kind of moving around, but it's not really the point. Yeah, it's not really the point at the end of the day, because by the end of that sequence, there was no intelligent defense happening, and was clearly Benoit's fight. So that said, I think the fight was fun as hell while it lasted. I'll always enjoy watching Dan Hooker do Dan Hooker things. The scrambles were wild. Obviously, Dan was going to pull Gilly multiple times in this fight, which he did. And I think they were very legit attempts. Like, I think he timed them very well for what it's worth. It's not like he's just jumping them to jump them. Honestly, if he'd had a little more time, I do wonder if those body kicks could have paid off, because he was really hurting Benoit to the body. And I think over time that damage would have started accumulating a little bit more and a little bit more, but obviously it never happened. BSD's pressure was just too much in this fight. He was faster in every single scramble. I think he was the quicker guy to react. He was always kind of timing. He knew what Dan Hooker was going to do before Dan Hooker knew what he was going to do. And once he got on top, he made all the right decisions to pile on damage. Obviously went for the arm triangle, which I had BSD by sub, and I don't know how he did
Another bad beat.
Another bad beat, but obviously Hooker got out of it. He's a tough guy. But he made the right decisions to pile on damage. You know, he went straight for the ground and pound after that, and that's the difference. So with the interim belt already kind of there, whoever wins BMF, I know BSD was calling for Max or Charles, and he also included Armin in those discussions. I'll say this: whoever wins between Max and Charles will not fight BSD. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah, if anything, it'll be the loser.
So with that said, give me the third name that he mentioned. Let's do BSD versus Armin as a clear lightweight title eliminator. If you want clarity at lightweight, this is how you're going to get it. Two absolute monsters, both right there. Whoever wins is basically next in line. I think it makes more sense for Armin now to take this fight, because now you have a guy that you can fight. They both are coming off of finishes over Dan Hooker. Obviously, Armin got it done by sub. BSD got it done by TKO. Hooker was doing well. I thought I was going to get the underdog. Hey, man, I know a lot of people who wanted the dog shot on Hooker. I personally did not see it, but obviously with Dan Hooker in Australia, you never know. And he did look good for what it's worth. Dan could have, if those body kicks really started piling on, he could have had a finish for him. So I would do BSD Armin. I think that is your next fight in lightweight. I think that is your title eliminator in lightweight, while Ilya and Gaethje settle their business at the White House. But yeah, Chris, take it away.
Yeah, no, I was very impressed with Dan Hooker. And I like how you mentioned the body shots, because he hurt BSD multiple times with those teep kicks, liver kicks. And yeah, I mean, I was also very impressed that he was somehow able to get out of that triangle choke, the arm triangle. I was also super impressed that BSD was able to readjust it multiple times and really try and find the angle to finish it. And Dan Hooker is just, he is so tough. I mean, he's a hard guy to put away, especially like that. Like he's going to go out on his shield or pass out. So that's the same thing. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, BSD is good, man. He's on a run. Those two losses to Poirier and Moicano, that really flipped the switch in him. And he's kind of
new coach.
Yeah, new coach. Maybe that was it. Maybe that was exactly what he needed. He just needed a new group in his corner. But yeah, I mean, he came into enemy territory and he got it done against someone who's very tough. And Dan Hooker I mean, we saw what Armand did to him. But I mean, he's still a tough guy to put away. Anytime you can finish Dan Hooker, it's very impressive. But yeah, I would love to see BSD versus Armand, especially if Armand's going to sit on the shelf and kind of just wait for the title shot that at this point is inevitably not coming. Just stay active, prove to the UFC that you are the number one guy for a reason. Take fights like this and, get back in the good graces, because, sitting there.
Oh, by the way, guys, I'm sorry, Chris. No, it's fine. Little spoiler, because you guys are on stream. Our next video, Arman Tsarukyan has talked about moving down to featherweight if he doesn't get the next title shot. Now, obviously, BSD does kind of throw a wrench in things, but we are going to do a video where we talk about that possibility. what matchup awaits Arman Sarukian if he moves down, who his biggest stylistic threats are at featherweight, what a featherweight Arman could look like. Obviously, assuming he makes the weight and all that. But we wanted to just kind of go over the hypothetical, that scenario. So we're going to do a video on that. Probably comes out this week or next week. Probably put it out this week to go along with our Apex predictions. But if not, you guys will get it next week. Obviously, there's no event next week. So that'll be a prime time to put it out as well. So who wins, Prime Tony or current BSD?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Prime Tony by absolute murder.
Yeah, from what we saw Dan Hooker do to BSD in the opening stage of this fight, yeah, I think Tony would do it because Tony's also really good on the ground. So, Tony by Imanari roll into a heel hook.
Yeah, no cap. If he does that, we're getting a Volk Lopes trilogy just so Dana can spite him. Yeah, that would be some Armin shit to get into.
Yeah,
Tyler taking current BSD. I don't know. I think it would be a really, really good scrap. Prime Tony just brings the fight to you, though.
Yeah.
And I think when we saw Dan Hooker really bring the fight to BSD,
it gave him trouble.
He was kind of wilting a little bit. It was only when BSD got on his horse and really started pushing it on Hooker and forced the issue that he was able to get it done. I don't think he's going to have the same margin for error against a Prime Tony, and I don't think the game plan can actually work the same. So
yeah,
I would take Prime Tony.
I think that's why BSD did so well against Ruffy too, is because he took the fight to Ruffy. Ruffy's a dangerous striker. So if you let him back you down, and put you up against the fence and cut off the cage, you're in for a world of trouble. And I think he knew that, and that's why he did that. I'm kind of surprised he was trying to take the fight to Dan Hooker in this, but Hooker off the back foot, he just fights like a rabid animal with his back against the cage. And that's where he's most dangerous, because he's not scared to get hit, and he's going to take 10 shots to give you 2 really good ones. So yeah, I mean, it's still good performance from both of them. I don't think I'm going to knock Dan Hooker down that bad with this performance. I still think it was a valiant effort, but it'll always be the grappling that gets him.
I think we should see Dan Hooker versus Fares Ziam.
I think that could be a very good fight.
I think that would be a good one. That'll at least be what I matchmake here. But BSD gets it done, and he gets it done by finish. I don't know how he didn't get the 100K, but I guess he'll settle for 25.
100%.
All right. Volkman gets it done again in the main event. If you're still with us, make sure you like up the stream, subscribe if you're new, turn those post notifications on, share the video, share the stream, do whatever you want. You can also hop in our comments, chat with us for just a little bit longer. Getting into our main event here. Volk and Lopes, man, they do it again. And I will say we are so lucky. We got to watch Alexander Volkanovski in real time. And that's something that we are not going to realize we took for granted until after this guy's retired.
Yep.
Volk is a generational fighter.
He's insane.
I will say Diego definitely learned some things from the first fight. Maybe not everything his coaches wanted, but this was a much better version of him than last time. I will say that. He had moments. He made adjustments. He looked more prepared. I think the game plan overall was a little better. It still didn't matter. It didn't matter at all. Volk's timing, the reads, his cardio over 5 rounds.
The footwork, too, was impeccable.
Incredible footwork. The decision-making. It's all just elite across the board. And I'm here to make a very, very hot take to some, maybe not a hot take to others. I think Alexander Volkanovski, squarely in the top 5, I think has a clear argument for being a top 3 fighter of all time in the UFC, my opinion. And I think he is the most complete fighter of all time, right next to GSP. And between the two of them, I think it's a coin flip.
And Mighty Mouse. I would give Mighty Mouse in that debate.
Sure. We'll throw him in there too. I think Volk is more complete than Mighty, though.
All right, I need to think on that. But if it was, it would be marginally.
I mean, it's just everywhere you can think of, Volk is literally just elite. Like, I don't know, man. Also, and no disrespect to Diego Lopes, but maybe stop kicking, dude. Stop throwing kicks. I just don't think his mechanics with his body are there to be throwing that many kicks. Like, just throw hands, man. Throw hands. And if I'm Diego, I was thinking about this last night. I honestly think he should move up to 155, or at least strongly consider it. You know, I think there's some fun matchups there. If he moves up to lightweight, give me Diego versus Patty. I think that'd be an absolute banger. But
that would be a pretty good fight.
As for the Volk, man, we know what's next. Whoever wins, Movzar and Murphy, which is probably going to headline UFC London. I think they're going to announce that soon. Whoever wins that is absolutely knocking on the door of a title shot. And honestly, Volk seems totally on board with it. I don't know if you saw the post-fight interview. He basically called out Movzar and Lerone. What a dog, by the way. For the champion to call out contenders is just
especially at Volk's age. Dude, this guy's not scared of anything.
Yeah, he's been positioning himself as the guy who wants the division to actually make sense again. He wants merit-based title shots, and he's kind of seen it firsthand where they give him Lopes again because, you know, it's what the fans want, or, you know, whatever bullshit they came up with. The best guys fighting the best guys. This is what Volk wants. I know a lot of you want it too. I know a lot of you want merit-based title shots, so Volk is going to be your spokesperson for that. If Movzar or Murphy wins in a convincing way, the UFC really has no reason not to line that up next. He forgot Yair. That's a real fight. Okay, yeah. If Diego stays at featherweight, they got to do Diego and Yair. No question. Yeah. I agree with you. I'm just pondering the possibility of Diego moving up to lightweight. If they don't do Diego and Yair at this point, I don't know what they're doing.
That fight will never happen, ever.
Yeah, it's just never going to happen. It had to be Yair not taking the fight or Dana just being completely clueless and the matchmakers having no idea what they're doing. Diego Yair has to happen if he stays at featherweight. But Volk, man, I got to give it up to him. Me and T-Money were debating it, Volk or Silva. I think my answer is clear Volk now.
Yep. I think so. I think that's my answer too. But I just got one thing to say. 'Cause tonight will be the night that I will fall for you over again. Sorry, I just had to do it. Not a great singer, but watching Volk sing that is so funny. Yeah, I will take the lone wolf on Volk. I thought it was a little crazy that I was the lone wolf, but Diego is a great fighter. He kind of proved my point right, though, in saying that I really didn't think he was going to improve that much from a year ago. And I don't know if it's that he didn't improve that much or Volk looked even better in this fight.
It's just Diego improved. It's just Volk looked, he's just that good.
Dude, like, he was hitting Diego with some crazy shots. And we all know that Diego has a chin made of granite. I mean, this dude actually has a brick for a head, not brains, but like his chin has to be made of cinder blocks or something. Also, I don't know if you saw Shrikar, but I think I texted you guys. Diego Lopes broke both of his feet in the fight.
Yeah, I saw that. Apparently, so Lopes commented on it. He said he has like some small fractures in his foot, in both feet. So it's not like clean breaks.
Yeah, his feet looked like balloons.
Yeah, they were swelling like crazy.
But yeah, I mean, Volk, dude, he just looked so good. And Diego didn't fight a bad fight. It's not like Diego went out there and got. I wouldn't say he didn't get outclassed. It's not like he shouldn't even have been in the octagon with Volk. Like he was definitely game. He definitely.
I had it 3-2 on my scorecards for Volk.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. On verdict, I had it 5-0, and the one round that I would give him was it? I think it was the third round.
Diego got 2 and 3.
Which one did he knocked him down in 3? Right.
He knocked him down in 3, and Lopes also did more damage on Volk in 2.
Yeah, I don't know.
Other 3 rounds, I agree with Volk.
I'm way more happy to give him 3. But yeah, I mean, regardless, it was a clear victory for Volk. But I think that it's just like, when do we see a guy who's 38 years old come out and fight one of the best fights he ever fought?
Is it the best fight he's ever? I mean,
One
yeah,
of
it's
them.
definitely up there.
I would say one of them.
Great fight from Volk. It just felt like vintage Volk,
Yeah, dude, it felt like when he fought Holloway for the 3rd time. Obviously, not in terms of what the other guy was throwing back, but it just felt like he went out there and just said, "Look, I'm better than you, and we're gonna do this." And I like how he dictated every single exchange. He did not let Diego dictate a single exchange, in my opinion. Like, he's like, all right, if we're going to get in the pocket, I'm making sure we're getting in the pocket. If you want to come close, I'm backing up and I'm circling the cage and I'm moving around. And like, Volk was throwing some heavy hands. I mean, we don't really see him throw hands like that. I think if that was any other fighter, they were getting knocked out, if I'm being completely honest. But
yeah.
Maybe it's a little bit of a strong take, but yeah, I mean, we're seeing improvement in real time from a 38-year-old fighter who has all the world of experience, and does he possibly have the best fight IQ of all time? I think we could do a video on that too. Who has the best fight IQ of all time?
I think he's up there.
Volk.
It might be Volk. I'm trying to think. DJ's up there, 100%. DJ's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have to say it's Volk or DJ in terms of fight IQ. Yeah,
it's like
that's a tough
just
one.
Downloads information at real time and utilizes it within the next 10 seconds.
Piotr Jan is up there.
Piotr Jan too. Yep, 100%.
Jan is definitely up there for fight IQ. But man, like, okay, let's lay out the possibilities. I think Lerone could make it interesting. I'll kind of stick by what I was saying before. Best fight IQ ever is Piotr. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that. I mean, the top 3 is no order: Volk, Piotr, and DJ.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm surprised you didn't include John Jones in there. I thought you'd.
Nah,
have your point.
I wanted to, but then I'm like, his fight IQ is questionable sometimes.
Yeah,
most of the time. But his pure athleticism and size kind of makes up for it.
It does. Okay, so if Lerone wins, I think it's interesting. If Movsar wins, I will chalk it up as a Volk win right off the bat. I think that'll be Volk's. Dare I say, it will be Volk's easiest test at featherweight yet.
1,000%.
Easiest championship fight.
Easier than Korean Zombie. I would say it's on the same level.
I think it's arguable. But I do. Lerone could definitely do something. I know it's kind of an unpopular take. Lerone could beat Volk. John Silva, I think, has the best shot at dethroning Volk out of all the guys, but that's just not what's going to happen next. I got Jan versus Merab too. Do
a video on the best game plans ever. That's
a good video. Do a bit on the best game plans ever.
I like.
Bro,
that.
I read it as Avid.
I did too, because we Avid's an editing software that we use.
I'm cooked. I'm so cooked.
There's Srikar's in his work brain right now.
We can do a video on that for sure. I think that's a great idea. I would have to really dig into the catalog of fights in my brain, but there's definitely some that come to mind. And Jan versus Merab 2 is 1,000% one of them. And I think there will be a Volk fight on there too. In terms of game plan, I think Holloway 3 is definitely on there as well. But yeah, what more can we really say about the Volk, man? This guy, he's just absolutely incredible. He keeps dominating. He keeps showing it. Every single time he goes out there, I keep picking against him. I don't know why. I really don't. I picked against him in Australia. Why did I do that? I don't know. But Chris got the lone wolf. Props to him.
Thank you.
After all the parody we had, I don't know if y'all went
to that.
If y'all go to our Instagram and you guys see our predictions post, we had a lot of parody this time. And you know I'm a big proponent of parody. Say that twice as fast. But it all ended in us basically going even for the week. Just like always. Whenever we have a lot of parody and whenever we have a lot of difference in our picks, no one ever takes a big lead. And I guess that's good for the competitive integrity of what we do. But it's not good for those that crave something big to happen. But we'll see what happens this next week, because we got an Apex event, or should I say an event in the meta Apex, as they call it now. I'm still going to call it the Apex. I don't really care.
Do they finish their construction that it can fit like 5 to 10,000 people now?
I mean, it looks bigger from I saw like how much tickets were going for, and it looked like the capacity did increase. It's not like family and friends anymore. Like real fans can go to the Apex.
That's pretty cool.
So it'll be a better.
Yeah, I think they did finish construction.
It'll be a better atmosphere.
It's still a 25-foot octagon though, which I like.
Yeah, smaller octagon, and I still hope we can hear the corners a little more clearly. I still hope we can hear the punches and the kicks and all the contact a little more clear, because I think that's the beauty of the Apex fights.
That was
right?
my favorite part of COVID MMA. Just hearing every shot and the corners screaming their heads off.
I mean, yeah, if you go watch Hooker and Poirier, like that's literally all you hear for 5 minutes 5 rounds. But yeah, man, Volk gets it done. Again, I'm very, very tired. I'm about ready to pass out and go to bed. It's been a long day at work, y'all. It's been a great day at work. I enjoy what I do, but we're gonna have we'll give y'all the little rundown on what the schedule's looking like before we peace out. So obviously we are gonna do our Oliveira and Bautista picks. Those will be out hopefully Wednesday, Thursday. We're gonna put that out for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I know we said Wednesday, Thursday last week. It ended up being Friday. I'm sorry, my bad. It's just how things go. But we will put this one out Wednesday, Thursday. We'll get it done for y'all. And then we will do that video on Armin moving down to featherweight. We're going to talk about that. I feel like it's a little bit interesting. Tyler gave us a great idea with the game plans. I'll write that down. I'll put that down on the list. We'll do that. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of content coming for y'all. There's going to be a lot of content. So stick with us. Bear with us if you don't like us. And if you do, just keep sticking around. Keep hanging out with us. It's always a lot of fun to chat with y'all, talk about fights. UFC 300 should have been in the Apex.
That would have been electric.
Dude, could you imagine? Imagine Holloway Gaethje was in the Apex. How different that fight would have been perceived.
Oh my God. Yeah, that everyone would be like, all right, whatever.
The most underrated fight of all time. Knockouts you probably don't remember. First one is Holloway Gaethje. That's literally what would have happened. It would have gone on one of those UFC videos where it's like, oh, sleeper knockouts you probably would have forgot about. First one is Holloway Gaethje in the Apex.
Like, dude, come on.
The best Apex main event finishes. Pereira
Pereira, Khabib lame.
Nah, that would have been classic, bro. If they should just put UFC 400 in the Apex just for shits and giggles. Just do it, bro. Like, you already gave Meta the whole shtick about the Apex. You gave him everything. Give him UFC 400 too. Make it the Meta UFC 400. Which, by the way, is going to happen. They're going to start sponsoring the events.
Instead of building a stage at the White House, they should just build an Apex. Do it on the lawn.
Well, I mean, that's more or less what it's going to be, right? That's more or less what it's going to be.
Yeah, they're going to airlift the Apex from Las Vegas to
hey,
Washington, D.C.
The big president, Donnie T, said he's going to build 100,000 capacity stadium at the White House lawn.
I don't know how that's possible.
Good luck with that, buddy. I don't know how you're going to do that, but good luck, my friend.
Very ambitious to say.
Not my friend. Not my friend. My fellow U.S. law-abiding citizen. But hey, we want to thank y'all for tapping into the stream. Again, content is on the way. Go follow our socials down below. Like up the stream if y'all haven't. Subscribe. Turn those post notifications on. Have a good night, y'all. Truly. And we will see you guys next time in the War Room. Peace.
Peace.